Paano ka napasok sa ML?
Kinontak po kami ng team ni Direk Benedict Mique. And that was history.
What's your role here in ML?
I play a sheltered teenage boy who experiences martial law firsthand.
Ikaw ba, ano yung vivid recollection mo about martial law? O yung mga nakikinig mo sa mga parents mo about martial law?
It's hindi ko po kasi panahon yung martial law.
Ano narinig mo sa mga kilala mo, sa parents mo?
I just honestly, I didn't really hear. Honestly, as a millennial, kasi we really don't know that much about martial law because we didn't experience it firsthand, and it's really just our. Sorry, na-distract ako. Sobrang ganda ng mata niyo. Sorry. And what do you call it? I can't make any personal judgments about martial law. I think that would just be very inappropriate, and it's not my time. You know what I mean?
But how did you prepare for your role?
I'm a new actor, so I prepared for it by going through the script with the director and really evaluating every scene, and he was always there for me, guiding me, and that's how we prepared. We had a very symbiotic relationship because I couldn't do any of the scenes without him, and obviously I was his main actor, so we definitely helped each other out, and I'm just really blessed that he chose and trusted a new actor like me. So we just prepared by really working through it together.
So how did you research dun sa regarding martial law and all?
Direk Benedict just made us watch videos for certain scenes that we needed to feel a certain.
May mga torture scenes ka ba dito? May torture scenes ka ba dito?
I think it was just just like the horrible things that happen to people.
Kaya may torture scenes ka? Okay lang yun, ganyan.
Yeah.
Meron. Okay. So, ikaw ba personally parang naapektuhan yung political statement mo about learning about martial law? Yeah, your political stand. Or parang what's your realization after doing the film?
I think my realization is now that you just always got to keep an open mind. Some people. I mean, for me, because I'm really not a political person, but I think after watching this movie, it's just good to be very aware of your surroundings. I think that's the biggest thing, more than people wanting to take or choose a side and be really aggressive or be inactive. I think it's just about knowing your surroundings, being more aware, and just educating yourself. I think that's one thing that
Do you think that there is this importance for the young people or the millennials to know about martial law?
I don't think it's important for them to just know about martial law. I think it's important for them to just know facts and to educate themselves.
Why just know facts? Not the totality.
Well, because in social media, in our age, in the millennial age or the Generation Z.
Yes.
I think it's important to know your facts because nowadays we have something called social media, and it's a really powerful force and it's actually taken over the world. And a lot of the times, what it says on social media isn't the truth. So that's why I'm encouraging people my age to really just know their facts, know their surroundings, know what's going on in their country, know what's going on in powerful parts of the world like the West. You know what I mean? So I think people should just more focus on the facts, focus on whatever their truth is, and like something that's really going to affect them. You know what I mean? Like don't just blindly follow things. And I think that's something that I'm starting to learn now. You know what I mean? If I want to have a good conversation with somebody who's much older than me, then I need to offer something to them as well. You know what I mean? I can't just be ignorant. You know what I mean? Even though they say ignorance is bliss. Yeah, you can't just be ignorant. You have to stand by your own truth, and you have to be aware of your surroundings. You have to be aware of what's going on. You know what I mean? Because sometimes that can affect you, and that's up to you if you want to make those
during
decisions.
the martial law regime, ang mga kabataan nun, they go to the streets to protest and all, especially because of mga human rights violations. Ngayon, anong masasabi mo ang take ngayon na parang hindi na ganun kaano ang mga tao sa pagpa-participate when it comes
I think they're scared. I think they're scared because people are getting killed.
Okay.
I think people are scared because we don't know.
You meant to say that the millennials, they are not that tawag dito, are
I can't.
not as dauntless as before.
No, the thing is, I don't think it's appropriate for me to really say how I might think other people feel. I mean, for me, I just think that if people aren't being as active in, you said in protesting, right? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think one of them could be that maybe people are scared nowadays. You know, we live in a really crazy world, yes, and you never know. Some people get shot from just walking down the street, you know what I mean? And that has nothing to do with martial law, but I'm just saying that we live in a really crazy world now. So if people who are younger aren't as active, specifically, I mean here in the Philippines in protesting, then to each his own. Everybody has their own reason, but I think one of it could be maybe they could be scared, or another reason could be maybe they're just lazy. Maybe they'd rather be at home and, you know, be a keyboard warrior, you know what I mean? There's so many different reasons, but I can't make that judgment for them because I can only make that judgment for myself. But I can say that, for example, in the States, people are fighting for black rights, for equality. So it's just like I can't make that judgment for how other people might feel about that because I'm not in their shoes.
Yes. We have a scene with Mr. Eddie Garcia in this film.
Yeah.
We have a scene here with.
Yes.
So how was it working with a legendary actor?
I mean, the only thing I can say is that he's the man, he's the legend. So the fact that I was able to work with him and I'm such a new actor, I mean, it was just such a humbling experience, and I have to admit I was very intimidated. I stepped in there not knowing what was going to happen, how our relationship was going to be like, but it was just really humbling and I learned a lot. So this is an experience that I'm always going to be able to tell people, you know what I mean? Like one day when I grow up, I'm going to be able to tell them, you know, like I did a movie with Eddie Garcia.
Is he an antagonist in the film?
Well, we're both the main characters, and I don't want to spoil too much, but I just want to let you guys know that me and Tita Eddie, you're going to see a lot of us in the movie.
So how was the overall experience doing an indie film since...
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's a completely different vibe, and I think, I mean, I'm sure like all actors most actors go through indie, but I want to encourage everybody out there that like if you are an aspiring actor and focus ka lang sa mainstream and you think that the only way to make it is through mainstream, I think that it's really important that you give indie a shot, and you'll realize a whole new respect for the art.
Does it mean magko-concentrate ka na paggawa ng indie? Kasi other than this, meron ka pang Cinema 101.
I think my job as a new actor isn't really to be so picky with my roles. I think right now, if I really care about my craft, I would just choose the scripts that I think is appropriate for me, or a script that I think I would be really passionate about, but stay open to all scripts that are offered to me. But at the same time, I think right now, I need to humble myself and just continue learning, you know what I mean? I don't think it's about me wanting to be mainstream, wanting to be indie, or not wanting to be indie, not wanting to be mainstream. I think
going back to ML, back to ML, your personal opinion, do you think that the episode about martial law is something that has to be confined only sa books, sa history books natin? Oh,
sorry, could you repeat that?
Something, the episode of the Filipinos about the experience of martial law is something that should be confined only to the history books, or something that has to be shared to the world or to the millennials?
I think whatever happens here on Earth is written in history. So that's always going to be in books. That's always going to be lived through people's experiences, and that's always going to be passed down through generations. I mean, it makes great for storytelling, and I think, for example, here in the Philippines, because the Filipinos experience it firsthand, and because the Filipinos experience it firsthand, that's always going to be part of our culture.
But are you aware that there are still what we call desaparecidos here in the Philippines na hanggang ngayon hindi ba natatagpuan yung mga bangkay ng mga human rights activists noong panahon ng martial? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not aware.
Okay. So, anong take mo doon sa kung sakali? Doon, na during that time kasi ng martial law, na may mga, syempre, rampant din ang mga killings ng mga activists
Well, like I said, all of that, it's made our history as Filipinos so colorful. You know what I mean? The world knows that we've experienced, or that my ancestors have experienced martial law. And I feel like that's always going to be something that we're going to keep with our culture. And if the world is going to read about us, that's something that they're going to know, and that's something that they're going to respect. You know what I mean? So whatever happens, it's always going to be part of us. It's always going to be part of our culture. And like one day, kids who are gonna be past my generation are always gonna know that if they want to do the research, you know, they're gonna know that this is how we built our foundation, and we've gone through that.